This train is now approaching Benton.
Platform 7B for the 1541 Stretford Connect service to St Helens Bridge, calling at Coxley, Bowden and St Helens Bridge. This train has 5 coaches.
This is Benton. This is a Connect train to St Helens Bridge. The next station is Coxley. This train is now approaching Coxley.
Calling at Bowden and St Helens Bridge. This train has 5 coaches.
This is Coxley. This is a Connect train to St Helens Bridge. The next station is Bowden. This train is now approaching Bowden.
Stretford Connect service to St Helens Bridge, calling at St Helens Bridge only. This train has 5 coaches.
This is Bowden. This is a Connect train to St. Helens Bridge. The next station is St. Helens Bridge.
Does not stop here. Please stand back from the platform level.
This train is now approaching St. Helens Bridge. This train terminates here. All change, please.
Terminates here. This train is for service. Benton.
This is St. Helens Bridge. This train terminates here. All change, please.